Definition: consumer decision-making is the process that a customer follows when buying decision products or services. Consumer behavior describes how consumers make purchase decisions and how they use and dispose of the purchased goods and services. It is how individuals make decisions to spend their money, time, and effort when they buy products and services. The importance of understanding consumer behavior. When marketers understand the needs and wants of consumers, they can create a proper and strategic marketing mix for their target market. In order to do so, marketers need to understand the factors that influence consumers' decision to buy and use certain products. Consumer decision-making process. Types of consumer buying decisions. There are three types of consumer buying decision behavior. The three types of consumer buying decision behavior are routine response behavior, limited decision making, and extensive decision making. Factors influencing buying decisions. Several factors influence the buying decisions of a consumer. First is cultural factors. Culture is a way of life. How customers think and act would determine the types of products and services that they purchase. Culture can be defined as sets of values, norms, attitudes, and other meaningful symbols that shape human behavior and the artifacts or products of that behavior as they are transmitted from one generation to the next. Culture can be divided to four: pervasive, functional, learned, and dynamic. Pervasive is cultural values influencing individual life, yet most are completely unaware of its presence. For example, what people eat and how they dress, what language they speak are all cultural dimensions. Functional is by establishing expectations. Culture gives order to society, such as laws. Learn is not genetic. Instead, consumer must learn what is acceptable from family and friends. Dynamic adapts to changing needs and evolving environment. The rapid growth of technology has accelerated the rate of cultural change. Next is social factors. There are three types of social influences. For example, is reference group, opinion leaders, and family members. Reference group can be defined a group in society that influence the individual's purchasing behavior. There are three influences of reference groups to the consumer. First is they serve as information sources and influence perceptions. Second, they affect of individuals' aspirations level. And lastly, their norms either constrain or stimulate consumer behavior. Opinion leader is an individual whose opinion can influence others, and they are usually the first to try new products. Opinion leader can be ordinary people, and they also can be celebrities or sports person. What they say and use can influence other people to use similar products. Family members is a persons related by blood, marriage, or adoption, as they play many roles in the influencing consumer when making purchase. Individual factors. First is genders. As we know, women and men have different sets of needs and wants. In addition, the distinct cultural, social, and economic roles of men and women result in differing decision-making process. Next is age life cycle. The age and family life cycle can have significant impact on consumer behavior. Consumer tastes in clothes, food, cars, and recreation are often age-related. Personality self-concept lifestyle. Personality is a broad concept combining psychological makeup and environmental forces. Self-concept combines the ideal self-image and the real self-image. Last factors of influencing buying decision is psychological. Psychological factors are factors that affect how a person feels and thinks. Motivation is the internal forces that direct a person's behavior. For example, when a person is hungry, it will drive him to search for food. Maslow's theory of motivation states that a human being is known to fulfill his basic needs before he searches for a higher level need. Thus, a young single executive would be comfortable to own an apartment, but as his income becomes higher with better job, he might want to own a condominium. Perception. Perception is how a person interprets or believes in what he sees. For example, many people like to own Japanese cars like Honda. because they perceive that the cars have high quality and performance. Learning. Learning is a change in a person's behavior that arises from his previous experience. For example, if a consumer bought a Sony TV set and he was satisfied with the brand, he will look for the same brand when he thinks of buying other electrical appliances. Belief and attitudes. Belief and attitudes are a person's consistent evaluation, feelings, and tendency toward an object or idea. For example, if a consumer believes that goods from China are low quality, he will avoid to buy China-made products. Perception. Perception is the process by which people select, organize, and interpret stimuli into a meaningful and coherent pictures. Selective distortion. Selective distortion is consumer changes or distort information that conflict with feelings or beliefs. Selective exposure. Selective exposure is when consumers notice certain stimuli and ignore others. For example, we see hundreds of advertising messages every day but only notice between 11 to 20 messages. Selective retention. Selective retention is consumer remembers only that information that supports personal belief. There are two types of learning. First is experiential and second is conceptual. Experiential is an experience changes behavior, while conceptual not learned through direct experience. Under learning, there is stimulus generation and stimulus discrimination. Stimulus generalization is a form of learning that occurs when one response is extended to a second stimulus similar to the first. Stimulus discrimination is a learned ability to differentiate among similar products. There are three stages of business buying behavior. First is buying center, second is evaluative criteria, and lastly is buying situation. There are 5 aspects of business buying behavior: buying centers, evaluative criteria, buying situations, business ethics, and lastly is customer service. Buying centers. All those persons in an organization who become involved in the purchase decision. Roles in the buying center. Initiator. Initiator is the person who suggests the purchase. Influencers. Influencers help define specification and provide information for evaluating options. Initiator. Initiator is the person who suggests the purchase. Influencers. Influencers help define specification and provide information for evaluating options. Gatekeepers. Gatekeepers is a group members who regulate the flow of information, often the purchasing agent. Decider. Decider the person with the power to choose or approve the selection. Purchaser. Purchaser the person who negotiates the purchase. Users. Users is the members of the organization who actually use the product. Evaluative criteria divide by 3: quality, service, and price. Quality refers to technical suitability. Quality improvement should be part of every organization's marketing strategy. Service includes pre-purchase as well as post-purchase service, along with dependability of supply. Services that help sell the finished product are especially appropriate when the seller's product is an identifiable part of the end product. Price. Business buyers want to buy at low price. However, a buyer who pressures a supplier to cut price to the point of money loss may force shortcut on quality. It may force the supplier to quit selling to him or her. There are three situations of buying: new buy, modified rebuy, and straight rebuy. New buy, a situation requiring the purchase of a product for the first time. Modified rebuy, a situation in which the purchaser wants some change in the original good or service. Straight rebuy, a situation in which the purchaser reorders the same goods or services without looking for new information or investigation other suppliers. Customer service. Customer service divide customers into groups based on their value, and it also create policies that govern how service will be allocated among groups.